Hello beautiful people, thank you so much for tuning in. Today I'm going to be showing you how I make simple and easy backing tracks for pretty much any song that you want to play on tin whistle. I'm using two apps. I'm doing this all on my phone today and I'm going to use two apps. One is called Chordify and one is called ChordBot. And they are actually both free. You can download them for free. I do have a paid subscription for, I think, one or maybe both of them, which gives me access to a few additional features. So bear in mind that you can do a free version of this, but you won't perhaps have quite as much flexibility with what you're able to create, but you can certainly give it a try. So I'm going to take you through how I do this, and hopefully you'll learn how to do something similar yourself. So the first thing we want to do is open up an app called Chordify. It takes any song on YouTube or any song you upload onto the platform and tells you the chords. So what we're going to do is we're going to look for Wild Mountain Thyme today. I need to create this backing track for one of my students. You can see that a selection of different versions of Wild Mountain Thyme come up, and you can click on these and listen to them. So I'm going to just take a look and listen at one or two. I'm going to choose piano as well because I actually use the piano keyboard quite a lot with tin whistle for working out certain things like chords and tunes in different keys. Now you'll see if I press play, there are a selection of letters going along the top here, and these actually relate to chords. These are names of chords and they play in time with what's being sung or what's being played within this video.
Oh, the summertime is coming, and the trees are sweetly blooming, and the wild mountain thyme grows around.
This is the basis of how you're going to build your backing track here. You're going to take these chords and you're going to match them up with the timing within the song. Now I chose this version because you can see there are 4 little squares at the top of each, and that's kind of 4 beats per bar. Other versions seem to have 3, and that's more difficult to deal with in the ChordBot app, which we're going to be using a bit later on.
Grows around the blooming heather. Will you go, lassie, go?
Now you can actually export this as a MIDI file. A MIDI file is a file that gives you basically information in sound form of some sort, and it can be opened in online DAW programs, which are basically programs for making backing tracks. So you can use this in other programs as well. You can also download this as a PDF, and what it does is it gives you those chords on some sort of sheet music. Now, although it doesn't really give you the lyrics, it's not all that helpful for what we need. It does give us a reference. Now you can also transpose this if it doesn't feel like it's quite in the right key for what you need. I'll make things start on a D, I think, just for ease of use at the moment, and hopefully that should be playable then on our D tin whistles. I personally like to play the chords here and the YouTube video at the same time and then make a note of the chord that it says. So for example, we've got G, D, G, D, and I can see how many of those beats that chord should be held for. So for example, here D is held for 4 beats, and then we've got a G, D, and the B minor for 2, 2, and 4 beats respectively. So that helps me know how long I'm going to need to hold each of these chords when I come to creating the backing track in ChordBot in a few moments' time. Now, if we open the ChordBot app, obviously you will need to get to know this program a little bit to be able to use it fully effectively, but it's really simple. Basically, there are a bunch of presets so you can choose some sort of style to your tune. I've got one open at the moment, and I usually start with a sort of strings track. It creates this nice drone effect. And what we're going to do is we're just going to click here and insert a chord. We're already in 4/4, so that works for the tune that we're creating right now. And then I'm going to choose my chord as a G major chord. And that G major chord is put into our little backing track creation. Now I go through what I've written down from the Chordify app, and I basically input these chords into that timing structure. Once that's in, we've got the basis of how our backing track might sound. Now there are a load of other options you can play around with. You can add additional things like piano, you can add drums, you can add all sorts of, maybe a little bit of electric guitar here to really build your backing track up. And basically we just go from here building on the information that we've collected from the Chordify app. Now it does take a bit of playing around with, and you will need to play back with your whistle to make sure you're getting the right sort of chords in the right place. You should be able to hear when the chord sounds right. Now if the version of the song that you chordified wasn't in the same key as the version you'd like to play, there are a few options you can change and transpose right here on the app, on the Chordify app, although it doesn't play it back to you, so you would need to know what key you'd like that to be in. For this one I chose to just change it by a semitone, just so that we start with D. It's not going to be right for the version that I want to play on my D whistle, but it will be playable just with different tabs. So what I'm going to be doing is I'll be changing this at the end once I've created the backing track in ChordBot, and I'll make it so that it fits my D whistle and the tabs that I want to use for this version. Now if you do have a bit of background music knowledge and a bit of music theory knowledge, you'll know which chords and which notes go nicely together, and this should be a breeze for you. But if you don't, like I didn't when I first started doing this, you can just use your ear and just try and play along with the tabs that you're using on your whistle and play around with the transposition of the entire backing track you've created until it just sounds right. So for this one, for example, I'll switch it around a few now and I'll play it and see if you can find out when it sounds right. Once we've done all this, we can export that MP3 file, and that essentially is your backing track. Now I'm aware that I haven't shown you all the ins and outs of exactly how this works, but again, as I said, if it's one of those things that you download, you will need to play around with it to fully understand how it works. There might be some tutorials on how to use this online somewhere, and if I do find any, I'll link them in the description down below, or if you know of any, please leave them in the comments as well. That is it from me today. I hope you found this helpful. If you do have questions, please let me know in the comments down below. And obviously there are loads of other ways you can make backing tracks. This is just one of the easy ways that I've found. I hope it's useful and I hope you give it a try. If you do, also please let me know in the comments down below. Thank you so much for watching. Happy whistling, happy backing track playing, and I'll see you folks again really soon. Bye.